Friends here that when the Property Brothers were up here, there was like a gazillion people and they got cheers. So I would like some cheers too.
Woo!
Thank you. Totally kidding, that was completely unnecessary. Anyway, I'm Evey, like I said. That's me right there. You can find my blog, you can follow me on all sorts of social media because I am totally a slave to all social media. And I own Evey's Creations, LLC, which is kind of started a little funny. I actually used to do cakes before I started doing what I did, what I do now. And I love to do anything that has to do with interior decor, so I'm an interior decor consultant. I don't call myself a designer. Actually, Chip was here yesterday and explained to the audience what the difference between a designer and somebody who's a stylist, and that I'm a stylist. My husband is an architect, so he's actually a designer. So I get to piggyback off of that. It's really awesome. I have 3 kids. They're amazing. I won't stand here and say everything about them, I promise, but they kind of rock. And they really are what has given me most of my inspiration. Why I am the way I am, it's because of them, and I owe them my whole life. So they're not here, but yay guys, I love you. So I give classes. I give upcycling and recycling classes. I love to be green. What does that mean? Does anybody know what being green means? Anybody? That's right. It's repurposing, it's upcycling, it's being sustainable, it's being, eco-friendly. It's making this world a little better because, quite frankly, there are so many of us on this earth that we really should take a little better care of it, in my opinion. So, what do? I refinish cabinetry, I refinish furniture, I restore antiques, and I basically will take anything that's junk and turn it into something awesome. All right? I did compete on HGTV's Flea Market Flip, the 3rd season. It was a total blast. I won't ruin it for you. So you guys, if you want to watch it, it's episode 8, season 3. And I had a blast. I did it with one of my closest friends. And then she moved away. I know, it sucked. But at least we got to do something really cool that's on the internet and out there forever. And we have it to share it, and we had a blast. I also love, like I said, I blog. So the blog has brought some amazing opportunities. I get to work with different brands, like some of the ones that we're going to talk about today. I also get to travel to fun expos and conventions and conferences and home shows and tell people what I love about these products and what I love to do, which is so much fun. And I just recently did a little, this is nothing to do with HGTV or DIY or anything. I did a little mini documentary for Phillips Restauronics, and I'm very excited to say that they are sending me to Amsterdam at the end of this month to go perform. So I'm very excited. And you can find that on YouTube. It's called The Breathless Choir. I'm not going to sing for you today, I promise. I might have Sarah come up here and do a little tap dance, but that's about it. All right. So you guys can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, like I said, the blog. And when we're done here, I'll be over there, and I'm going to have tons of free stuff to give you guys. So make sure you head over there, and I can give you my card so you guys can follow me. So, why is there a bird in my logo? Because I really have that bird. That's Rosie. She's a Gallic cockatoo, and she's just as crazy as I am. It makes my life so much better. So that's why there's a bird in my logo. It has nothing to do with furniture. I'm just a crazy bird lady. I like bird lady. I have way too many of them. All right, so we're going to talk about refinishing cabinets. You guys know that if you do a kitchen, it can take a good amount of money with cabinetry. I mean, we have somebody here who works with cabinets, and I know my uncle and my dad actually were carpenters and contractors, and my uncle was a mill worker. And I would watch him build incredible cabinets, and then he would charge somebody like $12,000 to sometimes even $20,000 just to make those incredible cabinets. They were amazing. But not everybody has that kind of money to shell out every time they do a renovation. So that's where people like me come in. I will go in and refinish and reface your cabinets. I can paint them, I can stain them, I can do everything. And quite frankly, here's a little secret that I'm going to give you. I mean, if you live in Jersey, don't listen, cover your ears because that's where I work. But it's really easy and you guys can do it yourself. I promise you. It will be the biggest DIY project you take on, but when you're done, you're going to have felt very successful and very satisfied that you created something. So don't be intimidated. We're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. And right now, let's go. This is a stain job. So that's what it looked like before. Over there you have your golden oak cabinets. I'm sure so many of you guys have those contractor specials, what I call them. because it costs nothing to get them in and up. But you know what? They have good bones, so there they are. So there's a process. I'm actually in the middle of doing this kitchen. I have to go home and finish it for a client. And I did it in C.C. Caldwell. Now we're going to talk about C.C. Caldwell. I'm sure you guys have heard about chalk paint, right? Yeah. Everybody knows what chalk paint is. It's a chalky finish paint. This is actually real chalk paint. This is made with clay and chalk, real deal chalk.
Yeah.
Darn it. All right. I didn't realize it was open. Sorry. So, can I have some napkins? Somebody napkins? All right. This is what I look like every day, you guys. There's always paint all over me. So this is actually made with real chalk and clay, and it's all earth pigments, which is the coolest thing. So the fact that it's on my hand, I'm not even freaking out because it's completely safe, completely green. And I actually have painted in my kids' rooms, even inside, no ventilation. I mean, I'm going to be like the good DIYer and tell you to go ahead and open up some windows if you have to, but quite frankly, there's no need to. They also make a stain, which is what I used in here. It's a stain and finish, and I have some of that to give somebody later. Thank you, my dear. So it comes in this, and it's actually a stain and finish one, so it takes the guesswork out of sealing. I just got it all over the mic, you guys. Awesome. It takes the guesswork out of sealing the project. That said, in the kitchen, you really do want to seal just because you have a lot of heat, a lot of steam, and you really, really need to make sure that that finish is gonna last a long time and not chip away with the heat, right? But I've done tables with it. I've done, little tiny nightstands like this, and I don't necessarily seal it because it's already got the sealant in it. So, oh my goodness, there's paint all over me. So, I'm gonna switch over here now. And now it's all over the pointer too. Here's a vanity I did in the C.C. Caldwell's paint. And again, just your contractor grade cabinets. And it looks so much more custom and so much different. I simply added some hardware to it. I took the doors off, went ahead and sanded it nicely. And that's the finished product. Over here is a very beautiful antique rocker that my client ended up actually making a seat for, so I wasn't hired to do that. That's why it still has the hole in it. And we did a custom color. It was like a whole bunch of different colors that I mixed up to get that color. But again, it's an antique rocker. A lot of people worry about painting furniture that might be antique. When we use a mineral paint, or when we use the paint that we're about to talk about, you're safe doing that. It doesn't contain any acrylics. You have no polymers. Nothing that would devalue the piece. Okay, I am actually a kind of a purist when it comes to furniture. There are pieces that I will not paint, I will restore. And when you're doing a restoration like that, you really want to stick to what's called era-appropriate products. So I'm not necessarily going to use even this particular brand right here, on something that's 150 years old because it wasn't around back then. I would use, I would stick to this traditional oil-based finish or stain. But that said, you're not going to devalue it, you're not going to mess it up by putting this type of paint. And quite frankly, you guys, can anybody guess how long ago somebody painted furniture? When was the first time maybe that somebody painted furniture? Anybody?
The 12th century.
12th century. You heard me say that. That's not fair. Cheating. People have been painting furniture since before the 13th century. It is not a trend. It is not a fad. It's not going away. Stop feeling guilty. Don't let anybody make you feel guilty. I have gone into real wars online with people who are like, how dare you paint that really funny piece that's mass-produced and not special at all, but they yell at me for it. They get very mad. It's not going away. It's been here for centuries. We have French kings that would pay people millions of dollars to go ahead and refinish and make beautiful works of art on furniture. And you know what? They're sitting in a museum somewhere right now behind glass. I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen with anything I do, but one can hope and dream, right? Come on, that was a joke. Wow. What a tough crowd. All right, so we're going to talk about milk paint. If somebody asks me what my favorite paint is, this is it, guys. I don't get paid to sell it. I don't sell the paint, full disclosure, but I do work with the brand. I am a brand rep. I'm also a CC brand rep, which means basically I love the product so much that I've decided I'm going to work with them to get the word out about it. Milk paint was the first original chalky finish paint. You guys see the chalk paint craze, everybody's all over it. There's tutorials on blogs, including my own, so we can go over there and check that out later, on how to make your own chalky finish paint. But you know what? This is the original right here. And back in the 13th and 12th century when people were painting furniture, this is how they were doing it. It didn't come nice and packaged like this one is. They would literally take milk, separate the curds in the whey, dry it out, and then add earth pigments and a lime binder. So this contains a lime binder. You do want to wear a mask and gloves when you're mixing it, but once, you know, it's an Avalon. Once it's mixed fully, it settles it, neutralizes it, and it's safe. You can paint indoors. You can, again, 100% green. This paint actually earned a USDA bio-based certification. Does anybody know what that means? It means simply that it's all created with products and we're all organic compounds, everything that's completely sustainable, renewable, and it's not going to kill the environment. So even the way they manufacture has to be according to a set of guidelines, all right? So, does anybody have any questions about milk paint so far, or chalk paint? No? Awesome, okay. We're going to paint, and I want a volunteer. So, who wants to come up and paint with me? All right, she went right up. Let's go. Come on up. Just try not to, spill it, because I already did that, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for it. So. I mean, if you spill it, just blame it on me. They'll totally believe you. You can head on over. You can probably do it from down there, because we're going to do this piece. Yeah, and I'm going to hop down too, and try not to set off the speakers with the feedback here. But we're going to paint, because painting is my favorite thing to do in the whole world. And because you volunteered, when you leave, you get to take the paint with you. Yay! All right, so chalk paint. Again, this is a true chalk paint. This is not a chalky finish. The difference between that is most paints are either latex, right, polymer. So you have a latex, you have acrylic, you have so many different types of polymers. There's no polymer, no formaldehyde. Did you know that paint contains formaldehyde? Like when you're painting, you can get that smell, that's the formaldehyde, and that's actually quite toxic. And when you do a piece of furniture or a wall, even if it is lower VOC, which is volatile organic compound, it still gives it off for days, sometimes weeks after. So every time you pass that piece of furniture, you're inhaling all of that. For an adult, that's normal health, it's fine. But somebody like me, I'm immune compromised because I have several autoimmune diseases and I have a lung issue. It would kill me, and for a child, it's very, very dangerous, and for the elderly that are maybe immune compromised as well. So you don't have to worry about that with this paint. That's why it's so great. So you're going to take it, you're just going to dip it. You don't want to load it up too much. And we're going to take the drawers out because, as I will tell you later, prep is key. And actually, we can take this right off. And this loose, I loosened it before, so I should be able to just come right up. All right, so you're going to sand too. You're going to prep. I'm making you work. Well, you're going to earn the paint, but you got to work for it. Maybe if you do a good job, I'll give you more paint. How about that? Okay. So you're going to sand it, because the first thing you want to do, I already cleaned it. You want to clean it first, and then you want to sand whatever piece of furniture you're working on. Now, we talk about cleaning. What does that mean? You ever get like a piece from a garage sale and it stinks to high heaven? Like it is the most disgusting thing. Maybe there's nicotine from years of smoking on it. Maybe it just smells like somebody died in it or something, or maybe an animal did die in it. You don't know, right? It's disgusting. So you got to clean it down. I like to do things green, right? We always talk about being green. So you could take some TSP and go ahead, try sodium phosphate. See, I'm kind of a chemistry nerd, so I'm so sorry. And you could take that, but I feel like sometimes that's a little too rough, and it's very, 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 like, I don't know, you can burn your hands with it, you have to wear gloves, all that. So what I like to use, and they don't sponsor me, I'm still waiting for that phone call, so if anybody knows anybody from Simple Green, give them a shout out for me. I use this product. I buy it off of Amazon, and it's literally an entire gallon, but I've had this gallon for about, I want to say like 8 months, and that's all I've used, and I do this professionally. I do furniture all the time, I do cabinets all the time. If you use it on your floors, if it's anything that's like a finished surface, you really want to dilute it. But when I'm doing cabinets, I take it right off, and it's going to take some grease off. So who wants to volunteer to do that? Anybody? You don't want to clean? You don't want to come here and clean? What's wrong with you? You should all want to clean. I'm kidding, I actually need it too. Sarah, you want to come down for me? My friend has no choice. So actually, oh, this is the one. This one is disgusting. I'm I'm going to give a shout out to Habitat for Humanity. They did this incredible, the Restore here in Montgomery County, they did this incredible stage and they donated all the pieces for my presentation. So you guys are looking for a fun thrift store and it's for a wonderful cause, go hit up Montgomery County Habitat Restore. So you see it's really gross, right? I'm pretty sure there's like animal or bird poop on it. I'm sorry, Sarah. So you're just going to take some and literally put it right on here, and you're going to see the magic that is simple green. So cleaning, even cleaning can be green, right? How you doing there? You're getting there. I think you're good. I'm not going to make you do the entire piece. I mean, I could if you really want to. So we're going to take that dust off, and I'm going to give you a little tip. I use this thing. I never sand by hand. Very, very, very rarely do I sand by hand. I just wanted to see her do it because it's fun. I'm kidding. So I use a mouse sander. This is just vibrates, all right? There's a belt sander if you want to really take the finish off, which is literally a belt. And there's different types of sanders. I mean, if you want to go crazy and buy like, you know, industrial grade, have at it, but you're going to have a hard time controlling it because it's literally going to like kill you. So stick to something like this. Sponges work great. These are sanding sponges, and they're cheap. You can buy them for nothing at the store, and they last. So I just use this and toss it when I'm done. But again, I try to be green, so try not to use them too much. Now, how's it going? See, I gave you something with nooks and crannies because we're going to use some metallic wax on it, so you can see just how it looks afterwards. It's really cool. You want to turn around and show them? You can. Everybody go, ooh, ah, yay! No? Really? There we go! I like you. Guess what? Come here, you get paint. You get paint. You're going to cheer for me? You get paint. This is for you. And you know what? Even kids can use it. It's safe. And my kids use it. My daughter uses this all the time. So have at it, sweetheart. If you were here yesterday and did some, or it was today, we did some string art with it. Yay! Thank you. So, you wanna, like I said, prep is key. Clean your cabinets. How's it looking? Show them that. Ew, right? Isn't that disgusting? That was on that cabinet. You really want to clean them before you paint them, because if you don't clean them, you're gonna have adhesion issues. You need something to have like the paint grab onto. And if there's dust or even bird poop like on this cabinet, there's bird poop. I have birds and there's no bird poop on my cabinets, I promise. That's crazy. But it's not going to be able to adhere, it's going to fall apart, and once some heat hits it while you're cooking, it's going to start peeling. So you really, really, really need to prep. So the first thing that you take away from this is prep is key. Come on everybody, let's say it. Prep is key. Oh, you guys are great. What a great class. I'm kidding. So prep is key. Sand them. I know that so many paints on the farm market, they tell you, no sanding necessary, no prep, it's prep-free paint. There's no such thing as prep-free paint, and I'll tell you why. Always, you need to have something to hold on to. If you put paint on a dirty, slick surface or something that's been polished, guess what's gonna happen when somebody scratches it? It's gonna come right up, and then you're gonna be really mad that you spent tons of money on a piece, either have it refinished or refinish it yourself, only for it to get scratched the minute somebody puts something down on it. If you have kids, anybody have kids here? Raise your hand. They are amazing, but don't they mess everything up? Like everything, right? It's crazy. Or pets. Pets are the same way. Awesome, but they mess everything up. So make sure you prep. Sand, even if you're only roughing it up. Again, some of these acrylic paints you can get away with just roughing up, but you really want to sand. If you're painting the kitchen cabinets, not staining them, if you paint them, you prime. I don't care what the bottle of paint, can of paint tells you, even the brands I work with, okay? The only one you don't want to use primer with is old-fashioned milk paint, just because it's completely natural. It's a little weird. But any other paint, you have to prime. If you don't prime your cabinets, again, as soon as you get some heat, some steam while you're cooking, boiling some water, it's gonna lift and it's gonna chip. So I like to use an oil-based primer. That's the only time I'm not green, is when I prime cabinetry. I use an oil-based, like the nasty stuff that stinks so badly, that's what I use. And you gotta let it cure for 72 hours because oil and water don't mix, right? What happens when you put some oil into some water? It doesn't really, you can't blend it, it just kind of pools there. And that's what's gonna happen with paint. If you have oil-based primer and you put some water-based paint on it, it's literally gonna separate just like the oil and the water would separate. How you doing there? So the thing about a mineral paint is that it's going to take a while longer to dry because, again, there's no polymer and there's no formaldehyde in it. What that does is it allows it to dry. It kind of makes it so that the air lifts and it gets a little bit dry and faster, and it usually dries from bottom to top, right? Most paint dries from bottom to top. The minute you touch it, you know it's dry. Mineral paint's funny that way. It doesn't. It dries from top to bottom. So you might think it's dry, but it's not. You really have to wait some time to give it time to dry. So how are you doing? We're good? You want to lift it up and show everybody so far? All right, this is a funky color. I love it though. Look at that. Just a few minutes. Yay! Just a few minutes and it looks like that already. I think you can let it be for a bit, let it dry, and then when as we get further on with the talk, you can come and start waxing if you want to wax too. Maybe you'll get some wax out of it, yeah? All right, hey, I'm willing to work with you if you work with me, you know? So, Sarah, how's it looking? Okay, you guys, see, look. Everybody clap for Sarah. Yay! And I gotta tell you, of course, Sarah would volunteer to come clean because she's an organizer. And like her house is, I'm sure, spotless. Right, Nick? Nick's not allowed to do anything. No, I'm kidding. She wants a tight ship. No, but seriously, this is what you would need to do. This is how you start it. Does anybody want to come stand and paint this with some milk paint for me? All right. Yay, everybody give her a hand. Woo! Woo! There's free paint if you sit down. Okay, so I've actually mixed some already for you. Now, what you want to do with milk paint. The cool thing with this is it's ready once you open the jar. I know it can be a little daunting, the milk paint, that it's not ready, but I can tell you that it's extremely easy. So what I did was I took some water, and I think this is just tap water. I prefer to use distilled water. It just mixes better for me. And I took some water, and you want to take equal parts water to paint for milk paint, and you're just going to stir that for me. I'm going to hold the cabinet door. And you're going to stir it so you don't see any more lumps in it. And you're going to show everybody just how easy it is to paint with milk paint, because I know everybody's scared of it. You guys ever seen those pieces that have like a chippy finish, like the shabby chic? This is what you use. The cool thing about milk paint is that because it's a mineral paint, if you put it on something that's shiny or waxed, it actually kind of it will act as a resist. So what will happen is the paint will start chipping on its own, and it'll look, or crackling, sometimes it'll even crackle, and it'll just look absolutely gorgeous. And if you like that kind of stuff. My husband, I told you I married an architect. He's not just an architect, you guys. He's a modern minimalist architect. Can you imagine? And he's married to me, the poor guy. So you know what I did when we first bought our house? I went out and I bought the most insanely large French provincial dresser I've ever seen in my entire life, and I painted it white. And I put that sucker right in our bedroom. So when he came home the first day to our new house from work, he walked into his bedroom, well, our bedroom, it's really mine, we all know this, and there was this ginormous, in his thought, monstrosity painted white in his bedroom. And he kind of looked at me, and I was kind of waiting for it. I kind of stood there because I like to mess with him because he takes things really seriously. And I kind of stood there and I waited because I knew it was coming. And he was like, seriously? Really? French provincial? And I said, yeah, isn't it awesome? But look, there's some industrial stuff on top and it's really cool. It kind of gives like a nice vibe. And he was like, all right, turn around. He walked away. About 3 or 4 days later, he comes in, he's like, I gotta tell you, that dresser has a lot of drawers. It's huge. All my stuff fit away very nicely because he's like Sarah, like he needs everything organized and very perfect. And I was like, yes, it comes in handy, right? He's like, you know what? It's not even that bad. I was like, what was that? Can I get a camera and record you? I'm sorry, what? The French provincial dresser is not that bad? Really? Okay, let's go tell the kids you said that so they know and there's a witness that I was right. So yeah, that's what we did. You got some lumps in there, are we good? Okay, that's okay. So what you want to do, once you mix it, is you want to give it some time to sit. And we don't really have that much time, so we're going to fake it, it's fine. And you're going to go ahead and take a brush, which I have right here for you. And because we're not sanding it, we're going to watch it chip. Once you're done painting, we're going to let it dry, and you can come look at it when we're done. It'll be chippy because it's shiny and I have not sanded it. So you can just paint, and it's very easy. It goes on very quickly and very easily. And what you'll notice is, even though it's water, you know, like you feel like you're watering down or whatever, it actually has pretty good coverage as you start building the layers, and you want to let each layer dry. Do you see how it's separating already? Do you see it? It's resisting it. But right